Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. This is Jay with Family Porties. Today's video we're going to be talking about 5 necessary essential things when bringing a puppy home. So there's 5 things I really do recommend just checking out, being prepared for, having ready for your puppy, just whether it may be your collar and leashes, your puppy beds, crate, vaccination stuff, etc. So starting off with the first item on my list, we're going to be talking about the collars and the leashes. So number 1, the collars I do recommend. I recommend having that buckle on there. Sometimes with your snap-ins and that kind of thing, we always, or sometimes occasionally we see that the buckle sometimes slips, sometimes isn't as sturdy as it should be, which can cause your puppy to maybe break free and run into traffic or get loose and get lost, which is never a good thing, and it's not something I wish on anyone. So basically look for your buckle type collar and just keep an eye on that. Make sure it's sturdy, make sure it clips in nicely. Typically it's pretty much impossible to get out of a collar like this. Another thing I'll mention, make sure in between your puppy, the collar and the neck, make sure you can fit 2 fingers in there, and make sure it's nice and tight there with that extra additional length, just to make sure it's not too tight. It's nice and comfortable and it's kind of sticking flat against your puppy's neck. So just to make sure it's comfortable for the puppy but also safe and doesn't get stuck on something around the house, it doesn't catch onto something and get the puppy into trouble. So basically 2 fingers, make sure to check that daily. If it's a puppy, just to make sure it's not getting tight, they grow so quick, so keep an eye on that. Next up, we're gonna be talking about your leash, what to look for. I really like a 6-foot leash in length. I really like a loop on the end where you're holding, and then a nice sturdy snap on the other side. So when doing leash training with the puppy, they can get a little bit, start pulling on the leash, start being really maybe a little bit too outgoing, a little bit too much of the pulling going on the collar area. So you might want to switch to a harness to start off with leash training, and then switch over to a collar later on. So but a 6-foot leash just gives your puppy enough room to breathe, but it also keeps them within your safe space. So whether it may be on a sidewalk, in the backyard, or wherever the case may be, it just keeps your puppy with you, but it still gives them enough free space. So that's the collar and the leashes. Next up, we're going to be talking about the bed inside of the crate. So one thing I do recommend is having something like this inside the crate, just something that's not malleable, that can't be destructed, just something really sturdy but comfortable. So and keep an eye on that, make sure that your puppy's not chewing a hole in here, depending on if they're going through a teething stage or a teething phase. Just make sure to keep an eye on that, make sure there's no holes in here, so the puppy can't ingest any of that material. So this bed doesn't have any fluffy material, it's just nice and soft but still feels very sturdy. The outside is a nice nylon, and the inside is very comfortable cloth, but nothing crazy for a puppy to really ingest. So keep an eye on that. Make sure when you're getting a crate that you have enough room to fit this bed in there, and make sure they have enough space other than the bed. So so the crate is the third item on this list. Make sure to check out, make sure it's the right size for the specific puppy you're getting, whether it may be a Portie or something else, a different breed you're looking at. A crate is definitely a good idea. I definitely recommend your crate training. It's super important for the development of the puppy, and it's just their own little safe space. So, and that brings me to the next item on the list here is a puppy mat. Basically, something where you can teach your puppy to stay on, to relax on, a comfortable spot, whether it's beside you on the couch, or if it's on the floor in the living room, in the kitchen. Just make it somewhere where they can have a chew toy on here, relax, hang out, and it's very much durable. Just a nice soft spot, but it's still not something you can chew up on, and it's not destructible. So, well, it might be, but not for a puppy. So, just a really nice, comfortable mat for your puppy. Anywhere in the house, you can pull this to your bedroom, to the living room, the kitchen, wherever you would like, and it's just a really nice, comfortable spot for this specific puppy. So that was number 4. So a nice little mat for you. Number 5 on the list, we're going to be talking about the vaccinations and the puppy food, what to be prepared for when bringing the puppy to the vet, or giving them that first meal when they get home. So starting off with the food, we do recommend Nutrisource. It's medium to large breed puppy food, and it's just a really nice chicken and rice blend. The puppies always enjoy it. They do really well on it. So that's one thing we do recommend, but if it's something that's not local to you, not easily accessible for you, you can always switch over from that to something that you're more comfortable with. So one thing when doing that, make sure you're doing it gradually. Make sure you're switching over in a slow manner to where it won't affect the puppy's digestive system. And it just really ensures that it's not causing any trouble being too harsh on that digestive system. It really just helps making that switch over, making sure you're not getting a runny stool, making sure they don't get an upset stomach. Sometimes you see that when switching over abruptly to a different kind of puppy food, even if it's like your chicken and rice, like some brands are, like Nutrisource. Even if you're switching over from Nutrisource to some other chicken and rice program, it can still cause issues because of the ingredient change. So keep an eye on that for sure. Make sure it's gradual. Typically, Nutrisource is pretty accessible. It's a pretty popular blend of puppy food brand. And if you want to buy it, you can always get it at Chewy.com or Amazon. Some really good spots to get it. Should be pretty easily accessible, but I definitely see the point of switching over from Nutrisource to something that's easier for you to get locally. So last but not least, we have this vaccination record here. Just something to help you out at your first vet visit. It's super important to make sure your puppy is on the right schedule as far as vaccinations go, deworming schedule. We also have our microchip information in here. So basically what you'll see is the puppy's information up here up front. This one is specifically for us family 40s. Up top. So basically on the inside you'll see, this one's not filled out obviously, but you'll see medical records, medical history. On the right hand side you'll see microchip information, and then you'll also see the deworming schedule up top here in the middle, and then to the right you have all sorts of space for your vaccinations. So typically puppies have 4 vaccinations, primarily for your parvovirus, distemper. The 5-way vaccination is what we typically call it. So basically there's one vaccination that starts at 5 to 6 weeks, and then every 2 weeks after that we do a booster vaccination called Neopar, basically to continue that vaccination process, which normally continues after the puppy goes home. So basically take this pamphlet into your vet, show them the records, show them everything you have as far as paperwork goes, and they'll pretty much put you on a schedule as far as what's next, whether it may be one of those boosters, whether it may be the rabies vaccination, all that good stuff. So we always also include, we have a small spot here in the back where we put the physical examination record from the vet in, just to make sure. We do that always at 6 weeks, just to make sure the puppy's great, doing good, healthy, stable, just everything seems to check out. And I mean, that's the biggest thing, is having healthy puppies. So we just want to make sure that they're doing good, make sure everything's great with the puppy before having them go home. So that is the last step, is this trifold here. Again, these are 5 essential things that I think you should have before adopting a puppy. So if you can think of anything else that's more important, something that I missed, something you feel like should be on this list, feel free to comment below. Also, let me know if you're wanting to get a puppy or if you're looking at a specific breed and you have questions about it. Feel free to comment here. You can always call or text me at 330-621-3917. You can always email us at familyporties@gmail.com, and also check out our wonderful website. There's always good content, good information on there. Just check out the puppies we do have, upcoming litters, and just really good information about the breed in general. So that's familyporties.com. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. My name is Jay Miller. I'm with Family Porties. Take care.